Hi. Right, to start off with, I want you to excuse the crudity of my workshop. I'm gonna make 1/6 scale DALEK. I've been asked a few times by people on YouTube and models I've made. People have seen them and they've liked what I've done, but they'd always ask if I could give some information on how I make it and what I use and what tools I use and whatever. So I'm going to make a 1/6 scale DALEK. I've scaled everything down from full size. I've got plans from a full size DALEK and I've scaled it all down to 1/6 scale. So at the moment I'm just going to make this section of the DALEK, and then we'll come back and we'll make more parts. That'll be this part of the DALEK here. You've got a DALEK. We're just doing this section here, not these, this section here. We have all the holes cut out, so when we get to the time to fit these, when they're painted, they'll just go in together like that. Just like that, when we get to that point. I've cut everything out and put it in an order so I know what I'm doing. Okay, I've got a framework to put together here to hold this lot. I've used my plans I've taken from the internet. There's an internet site called Project DALEK. If you need any plans to make this and you want to get it, then go ahead and get it. I think you pay a small fee and then you've got plans for all the DALEKs. I've got the plans and then I downscale it all. Before I do anything, I've had all these bits cut out on the laser printer. But when you print the pieces out on the laser printer, you get sharp, shiny bits on here. I don't know if you'll see it on there. You get shiny bits along there. So what I tend to do is rub it all down. This is a tool I use quite a lot. This is a sandpaper. I'm not sure what they call them. They're for nail files. Nail files. This is what girls use to do their nails, or anyone uses their nails. I use it all the time to rub all my models down. It just makes life so much easier to do that, put it down, do that. It makes life so much easier. Now what I'm going to do is, when I cut this with the laser cutter, I get edges, little edges around here. I'm going to flatten them edges off quickly. If you're making a model, if you want to make one of these, and you're interested in making a 1/6 scale DALEK, I'll do it step by step. You can just follow me if you want, if you're interested in doing it. I'll set my email at the bottom if you're interested in ordering these parts. I'll cut them for you. Obviously there'll be a fee for that. You know, the parts cost money, and then you can follow me step by step. I'm going to rub both sides down. The reason why I'm rubbing these both sides down, I'll show you in a second. Let me just continue as I'm doing this. Sometimes it can be a bit tedious doing things like this, but it's worth doing it in the end because it saves a lot of grief. Right, the reason why I'm rubbing that down, so there's no edges on there, so when the time comes and I need to fit that into there, it's done. It's fine. And that's that done. When that's done, give it a little bit of a wipe down. Stick it back in. That's the back of the DALEK. It's the back piece. Now the way I'm building this is this way. I've got these sections here, and they'll go. One will go that side there, and the back piece. That back piece will go there, like so. And then I've got two side bits that go there and there. And then that'll sit on top of that, and that'll give us our framework to attach these. So I'm going to quickly glue this together and I'll get straight back to you. Right, I'm using a super glue that I use quite a lot. It's a very good super glue. It's fast. You just stick a dab at the bottom here. Normally I'd use normal glue for this, but just I'm showing you for here, I'm using super glue. Normally for this glue, this plastic, I'd use this stuff here. So I will stick a bit of that on there. So I'm going to come in there, stick that in place there. I'm going to put this section here lined up there so I know where the centre of that is. Then we'll put that straight in there. And the good thing about this glue is it comes with that, like that. Give it a squirt. Couple of seconds and that should be set, ready for action. Now there'll probably be a bit of play on this before we get out in position. This will sit on top of here like that. like that. And once that's in place, then we'll start throwing these sections together like that. They should all just slot in together nicely. Right, I'm going to use, get back over here, I'm trying to set the camera up without all this light coming in. I've got a lot of light coming in. Now I'm going to use, for this section, like I said, I normally use, I put the super glue down there for a quick bond, but this gives a really good strong bond, this stuff here. I'm going to stick some of that in there as well, and I hope it will get where the super glue hasn't gone. But on the top, I'm going to bond that with the proper glue, because that is how I roll, young man. Then we'll stick this section up here. So I haven't really rubbed this section down too much, but I've done the edges. Now this section here will go in here like so. Line up dead straight, as much as you can. Just a bit out that way. Bring it over that way a bit more. Bring that in that way a bit more. Probably even better off sticking the super glue on this. Right, now we go to our glue. Oh no, we're going to go to our bit of tape. I like to always use a bit of frog tape because it does a great job. Just stick that in there like that, just to hold that in place for now. Get it in the middle. It's a simple build. If you've never made one before, it's quite simple. That there like that. That goes there like that. Like so. And right at the back, stick the next piece on. Just like that. Make sure it's all dead straight. Just like that. Yada yada yada. Then make sure it's all straight. And that's it. That's pretty much the build there. I hope you've not missed too much of that because I've moved to one side there. And that's how we'll have it in a row like that. Then when I glue it, it will go like one will go there, like so. Next one will go, the next one along will go there, like so. And the next one will go there, like so. And we'll go right along the Dalek to the back. Piece will go there, and the back, so it will go straight across. And once we've done one side, then we start again and we go around the other side. That's why I've got them laid in a row like that. So I know where I am. And plus, because they've all got weird angles, they've all got really weird angles cut at them. They're all really weirdly cut. None of them straight. Like you don't want to get one mixed up by putting it that way around, because it can be really confusing. I made another Dalek, which I'll show you later on, which is I'm still in the process of putting together, but I want to build this one to show you guys how I'm doing it. And like I say, if you want to follow along and make one yourself, feel free to email me on my email down there for any information about it. What the parts cost, I'll send you the parts, I'll cut all the parts out for you. And we go from there. Anyway, I'm going to go and grab a cup of tea, and I'll be straight back and we'll glue these bits on there. See you soon. Welcome back. I have my cup of tea. I haven't made a cup of tea, that's just there. That's that sorted. We're waiting for this stuff here to dry. It's virtually dry anyway, I can start gluing that together now. Like I said, I tend to use a modelling glue, which is this glue here, which is great stuff for modelling. I tend to use that quite a lot. I'll stick a link for that down there. Not a link, the name of it and what have you for that. I use all the time. All the time I use this stuff here. It's great. You buy super glue, and you normally get in super glue 25 grams of super glue, and it's gone, you know, in no time. This carries 50 grams of super glue inside there. Plus you get this activator that activates it in seconds, so you ain't got to stand there for hours holding something. Cut the squirts of this, a quick blow on it, and it's done. It's set. If you like I said, if you're interested in joining Project Dalek, they're quite good. They come out of all sorts of plans, like these plans here. I printed these from my work. You can see where I've been down, but they cover everything. It's got it all. Go in there. I think it costs £5 to join. But you can see all the angles, all the tiny little angles that's been cut out on this thing here. And I've downgraded. This is all in inches. This is if you go and join Project Dalek, you can make a full-size Dalek. This is all in inches, this is all the exact size. All I've done is for each item I've got hold of, I've scaled it down to what we have here today. Check it out if you like Daleks and that sort of thing, Doctor Who, what have you. Well worth a visit, and I paid £5 and got access to all the files, which is great. Anyway, the next stage of doing this, I'm moving the camera around because I'm not used to doing models and filming myself at the same time. Never done it before. This is the first time for me. I've been asked to, to film it and give ideas on how I film stuff and what I do and how I do it, and that's what I do. That's what I'm going to do and give it a go. I tend to make a lot of stuff. I tend to make stuff like this, that thing there. I make a lot of these War of the Worlds figures. They turn out when they're finished a little bit like that. When they're done. When it's done, it's a little bit like that. This is just a standard War of the Worlds. This one's just standard with no lights. I normally do them with lights inside them. But that's another project, we'll probably get to that another day. Back to this, we're giving it time to dry. I'm going to take this off of it now. I'm going to go through a process of gluing it together. I'll put the camera closer so you can see a bit better. I'll probably be moving the camera around here and there till I find the best place to have it. Like I said, I'm not really used to filming and making models. I tend to just make the models and concentrate on that. This should be pretty much in very good scale. I'm going to use this stuff here. I'm going to use this stuff to glue this together. I'm not going to mess around with super glue of this. I want it to sit really well. If you want a really good tight finish, then use this stuff. If you want to finish and you're not too fussed how tough it is, then use the super glue. We'll put a couple of dabs on there because I'm not too fussed about that. And then we're just going to try and line that up dead straight as we can get it. And I hope we got that the right way around. So that into there like so. Draw that down like that, like so. Get some tape on that. Lift it up. We'll do the same with this. We'll have to move it around a bit maybe to get it dead straight. Doesn't matter if it's a bit untidy because there will be a tidying up process coming on before we spray this. I'll show you how to spray it, what I use to spray it, what sort of method of spraying I use. So I made a stingray once and I did it in a really lovely satin finish. So I'm going to use the same sort of method for the Dalek here. I'll give it a satin finish. I don't want it shining like glass. I just want it to have a slight shine. I'm coming this way with this now. I'm taking this next step here. I'm going to go here with it. That's going to sit in there like so. Like that. You can see that. I think you can see that there. Let's move up a bit. Get more back in there so you can see that. So I'm going to stick that in there next. Dab a bit of glue along that, like so. Same with that side. I'm going to do the edge of this as well. So it doesn't matter if you spread a little glue on the side or you spread it on it, doesn't matter, it's going to be rubbed down. We're just quickly getting the structure together so it's strong and tough. It's good and tough. Like so, just like that. And that will go in there like that. And I'll do that. And the next one is this one. I'm going to put the glue on this side here this time because I don't think it matters. How long goes there? It's quite a fairly fast process once you get yourself going with it. I'm going to use a flat edge as a guide. Just push it down there and bring it up like that. It starts twisting and turning a bit. You just go with it. And hope after all that measuring I've done, all the measurements I've done to this, that it just go lines up straight. I hope. Push it into place as much as you can. Run some tape across that there. Try and hold all that together. And the last bit will sit in here like so. As you can see, it's twisting. It's got like a slight twist to it. You can see a bit lower down, that one. Got a very slight twist to it going on there. I had a lot of problems when I was doing this model here with these sections here because I couldn't find the exact dimensions to that. Anyway. A bit of tape on this because like I say, you'll probably get gaps here and there, but this is the first cut I've done of this model. This is the first actual laser cut I've done of it, so it could be out of fraction. I'm not sure how far out it may be. I know this section here is going to be out of fraction, that's going to come down it, so. Although they are all exactly the same measurement, they're not a fraction there. So I know when I do the next one of these, just to drop that, just to drop the size of that a fraction. Although it's the right size, these here are not marrying up with it nicely enough. These here are not marrying up with it nicely, but it'll still work. This is just a quick run through so you know what I do, how I do it, and hopefully you can pick up some ideas and do something yourself. Let's get this done. Let's just get this thing done. And that front bit isn't closed up, probably as you can see there. It's got a gap there, but I'm not too worried about that gap because, like I say, it's all going to be filled in. And these are the, like I said, the exact measurements, so gaps there shouldn't really be there, but that's how the mop flops. Right, I've brought the camera down now to show you pretty much what it looks like. It looks a bit weird on this lens because this is a wide angle lens, so it's going to look a bit odd on there. It's going to look a bit weird on there. Anyway, it's all taped up, all looking good, just to let it dry, and then I'll be filling it. I've got gaps on it, shouldn't have no gaps on this at all. Always remember, folks, always remember to stick to the top on your glue. Otherwise, the next job, you'll be tasting glue. I've got gaps there. That could be down to the laser machine. I find sometimes if I was to measure that exactly 5 inches, it may cut it. And then when I finish cutting it, I look back and measure it again. It'd be 4 point something inches or millimeters. I've measured that 7 millimeters, and then the laser cutter cuts it, it may be 6 point something, so I always tend to lose something. But I'll check all the measurements on the on the plans. They should be all spot on. There's only once a few things, I think the inside braces were the only bits that I was unsure about. But that's it, that's that bit ready to go. This will be filled in. It's got gaps here, but when you make it, it says on the plans when you're making it that you'll get these gaps, they'll be filled, and they'll be filled with filler. You won't see them when they're filled. I'm going to fill it all in, like I said. I'm going to get it all filled in, rub it all down, give it a really good rubbing down so it's got a really nice finish on it. Rub it all down so it's got a really nice finish on it, and then I'll give it a nice undercoat and it'll look great. Next time you see this, I'll be starting to fill it in. It'll be filled in. I'll use for modelling when I'm filling, even standard models now. I don't even waste my time with the model filler. I just go straight for the Isopon P38. Just does a good job. I use it on all the models now. I used to use the model stuff, rubbing down, but it just never worked. Never worked for me. Anyway, that's that. Next time, let's get that zoomed out a bit more. That's that. Next time we come back, we'll have it all filled in, rubbing all down, and then we get a primer on that, and that'll look fantastic. Then that'll be the bottom half of our Dalek done, this section here. The reason why I'm making this Dalek 1/6 scale is because the company Big Chief are bringing out a 1/6 scale John Pertwee Doctor Who, which is my favourite Doctor Who when I was younger. And that's why I've not really had an interest in making a Dalek, but when I heard they're bringing out John Pertwee, I thought I'm going to make the Dalek that John Pertwee had a little bit of a battle with. So when I display him, he'll have his Dalek sitting by his side. And that should be quite good. Earlier I said I made another Dalek without the plans, and I want to show you that. That's this Dalek here. This one was made without any plans. I had to make all the plans myself to get this one made. This is from the movie Invasion of the Daleks, Peter Cushing. I just wanted to have a model of that. So I'm still in the process of making this. It's not looking great on this lens. I need to get a better lens for this. This is not the best lens. This is a very wide angle lens, so it's giving it a really largy look to it. But so still working on that. That's what I was going to do. I was going to buy a Peter Cushing who played in Star Wars. I was going to get that Peter Cushing and convert him into a Doctor. There's an idea if anybody's thinking about it. This is going to be the movie one anyway. It's going to have the clawy bits that go on there. I made the claw bit that go on the end of that when the time comes for that. But that's it. And the head and whatever. Next stage when we get to here, once it's all filled in and that's all done, we'll be moving to this section. This section could be a bit fiddly. It's fiddly enough making that because there's no real plans telling you how to do that and how to get that right. And so you can see with my version and the proper version's wider than my version. So, but this is proper scale, so this is exactly how it should be. My version, when I was making mine, I kept thinking something wasn't right about it. And I think the fact it was just a little bit too thin was the problem. Otherwise, it'll be a case of that, and then we'll have a Dalek there done in time when time comes. So stay tuned. Next time you see me, this will all be rubbed in, rubbed down, filled in and rubbed and ready for spraying. I'm going to spray that and then push it to one side, build the next section, and then spray the next section and push it to one side and do it in sections like I am doing here, in sections. I've got to put the inner part of this here, which I'm still working on. With this one, I made like a mesh. You can't see a mesh like that, and that would sit inside there to give it that effect, that sort of effect. But this isn't the right mesh for that. This isn't the right one for this. This was for another Dalek. It was another one I was doing that didn't come out too well in my processes of trying to get the Dalek right. That would go there like that. but that's not, like I said, that's not the one for that. Anyway, stay tuned, and we shall get straight back to this bad boy, and we'll have him shining. He'll have a lovely, lovely chrome head. He'll look a lot. He's supposed to be silver and black, pretty much like this boy, but the spray job will be a lot better than that. The spray job will be pretty much like this spray job on this one, on this thing. Let me get on there. Pretty shiny. That way. We'll have quite a good spray job on it, just like that one. Anyway, stay tuned. See you later.